Good morning. I'm here this morning to thank our firefighters, the leadership, and the rank and file on behalf of Houstonians. Once again, we witnessed our first responders, our Houston firefighters, coming to the rescue of residents of a small apartment project, using their training and their motivation and their commitment to placing their lives on the line for Houstonians. Doing that this morning, 3 of them suffered injuries, severe burns. They were blocked inside an apartment project with a heavy door blocking their exit. They issued a mayday, which means we have firefighters' lives being risked. I want to thank the 3 injured firefighters who I visited with and their families. This is why Houstonians appreciate, respect, and love their firefighters. At 5:45, while most of us were getting ready for work and school, we had men and women placing their lives at risk. We're very fortunate that they were rescued and have the best care in America here at Memorial Hermann. Captain Escamilla, who I visited with, has very painful burns, and I'll let medical providers, professionals, and the chief and Marty describe the extent of their injuries, but I can, as a layman and as a mayor, tell you it was severe, very painful. Their equipment melted. Their air packs melted on their backs. Their helmets were melted. They were very close to losing their lives. Darren Jones, firefighter, Jonathan Guzman, firefighter Guzman, and his family appreciate Houston love and care for their firefighters. So I will let you know I could be at 100 places as the mayor of Houston. I got the urgent call that we had 3 injured firefighters, and this is where I wanted to be, and this is where I need to be. It's not only for our injured firefighters, but their colleagues. I don't think everyone appreciates the psychological damage and stress and harm it does to the colleagues, those that evacuated them, those that will go back to the station, because they look at me and say, Mayor, that could have been me. That could have been one of my other colleagues. So let's keep our fire department in our prayers. These injured firefighters and their family realize the risk they're at every day they go to work, and that's why we love our firefighters in the city of Houston. Let me yield to Chief Munoz, who can give you additional details.
Thank you, Mayor. Today was a reminder of what we do each and every day. Our men and women of this fire department, this great fire department, putting their lives on the line for each and every resident of Houston. At 5:28 a.m., HFD was dispatched to an apartment complex on Jarmee Street for an apartment fire. The first units arrived at 5:34. There were approximately 12 units in the building. The fire damaged at least 2 units. Within minutes of arriving, crews started performing what we call a primary search, and at that point there was some entrapment involved and a mayday was issued. They were pulled by their other firefighters from away from the unit. The mayday triggered a second alarm. Some units in the second alarm were disregarded before they arrived. At 5:46, 3 firefighters from Station 46 were transported priority 2 to Memorial Hermann with varying degrees of burn injuries, primarily their hands, their legs, their neck area. All 3, we did visit with them, as the mayor mentioned, were awake, alert, and oriented at the hospital. At the current time, our family support network is assisting the families with all the needs that they have, as well as the firefighters that were involved in the fire. As we stated, You know, these three brave men went in today. As the mayor mentioned, we're very blessed. But you know, upon talking to them, you know, it's obvious that Memorial Herman has done a great job of making sure they're comfortable during this time of recovery. So we want to thank them for their expertise and hospitality. At this point, I'll pass it over to Marty Langton, Union President.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief. Just from a personal perspective, this is a dangerous job. Every day that the men and women go out there, we don't know what we're going to experience. And today, we are fortunate that we do not have 3 firefighters that we are burying, but this is going to be a long recovery. And if you know anything about the fire service, it is a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And when you show up, you see all of the crews, you see all of the support, you see the mayor of the city of Houston, the fire chief leading this department, and we're all here to support those men who were injured this morning. And this is going to be a long road. Far after the cameras are gone, these families are going to have to work for this recovery. A burn is a serious injury that takes time to heal. And our focus and mission now is to support the families, is to take care of our brothers, and it is to ensure that we get them back on the line healthy, and so that we can focus on responding to the next call for the citizen that needs us. So I want to just take a moment and I want to thank Houstonians for the outpouring of support. We ask for your continued prayers. This is a long road. This process takes a while when you're dealing with these type of injuries. So keep the thoughts and prayers for the families, the crews that are here in support. And again, I want to thank Mayor Whitmire and the leadership of Chief Munoz for everything they continue to do for our brave men and women. Thank you.
Sí, ahora tenemos 3 bomberos heridos, se quemaron las manos, las piernas y por ahorita la cosa que lo está yendo bien, que todos los bomberos están alertos, va a ser van a estar en el hospital por un buen tiempo, ¿no? Pero a las 5:28 de la mañana, recibimos la llamada para un fuego en un apartamento. En ese tiempo, cuando llegaron los bomberos, 3 se entraparon. Entonces, con eso quisimos que venir a Herman para que están heridos, como dijimos. Por gracias a Dios que ahorita todo se está mirando bien, pero van a estar aquí por un buen rato. Pero es lo que pasa ahora. Gracias. Any other questions?
Do we know what caused the fire?
Still under investigation. At the current time, we do have the arson division investigating the fire and trying to find out the root cause of what occurred.
I guess with it still being under investigation, is there anything on first blush that looks like it could have been prevented in terms of starting it, or was anything dangerous about the building?
Sir, and that's all part of our preliminary investigation. An investigation that will reveal the root cause and then what actually occurred to lead to this event.
Chief Devon Rami here with KHOU 11. You mentioned that there was an entrapment involved. How were the firefighters actually able to get out?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, we had, as you know, just to give you a little history, there's what we call the Rehire program that the mayor supported of getting the firefighters that had been in with us before. And that person had been with us for 3 weeks now, and he was able to rip the door out. Was a big, strong guy. Was able to rip the door out. At that point, we were able to extract those firefighters that were at the doorway. So.
Chief, was there a collapse? What was?
No, sir, there was no collapse involved. Like we said, it was when they made entry, the door was the heavy door closed on them, and at that point, that's when we make the extrication through that member.
And they went in, you said, to search for...
A primary search, correct, which is ladder 46.
You said they had burns to their hands, their legs, and their neck.
Mhm.
And could you kind of talk about, you said their equipment burned, it melted off.
So yes, ma'am, the equipment did burn, obviously, and it's what's called the flashover. It gets so hot in there that everything pretty much explodes over in there. But their equipment did the job that it was supposed to do. One of the key things that we continuously do is invest in our equipment through the support of the administration, and that was the key part. But their equipment was compromised and burned.
You You said Captain Eskima, Darian Jones, and Jonathan Guzman.
Correct.
Kind of tell us how long they've been with HFD?
We'll get those in for facts for you, ma'am, but we'll get those. But yeah, it's been, the crew's been together for a while now.
¿Cuál es la respuesta en español del equipo?
El equipo, sí, el equipo que tuvieron, sí se quemó en el fuego y por eso, pero sí le salvó la vida a todos los bomberos que estaban ahí.
Chief, you mentioned that you and the mayor and everyone else met with these 3 firefighters and their families. What were their spirits like? Were they upset? Were they feeling okay? How are they doing? What were they like?
Emotional, obviously in pain, but in good spirits. It's always good. Chief Davis, too, has been meeting with them, our executive over operations. But they're in good spirits, painful. But, you know, like the mayor said today was a blessing today. But they are in good spirits. It's obviously in pain, but they're able to talk to us in good spirits.
I would emphasize they were thankful. And Escamillo has large blisters on his chest, his hands, face, his wife there. So, you know, they train to save lives, knowing that their lives at risk, and then you see in real time, you see the risk and the pain. You know, you can imagine a small stove burn that you might have had, hands swollen, feet, blisters. So as Marty said, it's a slow process back, but for a layman to see that extent of burns, deep burns, 2nd, 3rd degree, painful, but there again, they're thankful because they're gonna get to go home with their family. I actually told them when they go back to the station, we'll stay in contact and we'll have a cup of coffee because it is a blessing and but for the quick response and training of other firefighters, the gentleman that has just returned to the department, when you hear Mayday, you know it doesn't get more serious than that. So we were really blessed that someone was able to free them through a heavy closed door. So
Was
anyway.
it 3rd-degree burns that are body injuries?
We had 2nd and 3rd varying in different parts of the body. Some had 2nd, some had 3rd. So, but obviously that's for the medical crew to give us a real identification on that. But those are the reports that we get: 2nd and 3rd-degree burns in some areas.
Chief, right now with this cold weather, y'all responding to, fires and things, what, and of course this one is under investigation, but what's the advice out there for the citizens, dealing with heaters and just fires in particular to keep warm?
Yeah, great question. Obviously, maintain the safety of your home, right? One of the big things that we see a lot, depending on what area in town you live in, people have a tendency to do live fires inside their homes, which is not definitely something we want to see. Obviously, the carbon monoxide poisoning when people might have heaters that haven't been checked, so check for that. There's that open flames is a big one that's got to be protected and avoided at all costs, but definitely to look at your surroundings. But those are the ones that we really hit a home on.
Space heaters in particular.
The firefighters, obviously, we know that they were unfortunately injured in this. Were there any residents that were impacted as well?
No, sir. No residents were injured. As I said, only 2 units were out of commission as a result, but no injuries or no transports of any civilians.
Do we know how long it's been since we've had this number of firefighters injured this severely? It seems like it's probably been a while.
It's been a while, yes, sir. It's about 11, 12 years now. Any other questions?
I know that the injuries are severe, extensive. Is it something that these firefighters are going to be able to make a recovery from?
From all indications, yes. That's what we're looking at, but obviously that's for the medical staff to look at. But as I said, we're very fortunate we're here at Memorial Hermann, and I do feel comfortable they'll be back to a speedy recovery and back into the stations.
And can you talk a little more, Mayor, maybe about this, or Chief, about this return program you mentioned? Explain what that is and how long that's been.
Yeah, great question. The Rehire program, as you know, firefighters left. But then now with the new administration, new mayor, new leadership, they wanted to come back, right? And these were firefighters that worked for Houston. So they came back, and thanks to the union as well and some of the contracts that were worked on, they were able to come back. And just did a little bit retraining with them, but they today is a prime indicator of what that rehire program did for us, for people that are familiar with Houston Fire Department and the training that we do. So that was another blessing today.
Obviously, we're understaffed,
Yes.
and cadet class were not being filled until we reached a settlement and assured the firefighters that they were going to know their conditions and benefits. So now, not only are we seeing our recruitment being successful and our cadet class becoming larger, but we're actually seeing rehires. The morale is very high in the Houston Fire Department and actually in the Houston Police Department. These individuals place their lives on the line each and every day. They appreciate an administration and leadership that protects them, makes certain that their families are going to be cared for if they are taken in the line of duty. So, you know, this is not just the physical burns, it's the psychological support that they receive from the city of Houston, and they haven't received that in recent years. So now, that's why you see firefighters line the halls of this hospital, because they care for each other, they care about citizens. We're doing rehires. There is a quicker pathway for them to become first responders, and we saw evidence of a rehire this morning most likely saved the lives of 3 brave firefighters. So things are working well. I think we're very fortunate today that we're not sitting here with 3 fatalities. They were moments away from losing their lives. And if you look at their burns, they will heal. But the psychological impact of not only them, their family, but their fellow firefighters is significant. And that's why I would ask all Houstonians to keep them in their prayer. And it's also why I'm here to represent the citizens of the city of Houston. People care for their firefighters and first responders. And there's some that challenge, for political reasons, the benefits of firefighters. No citizen that I'm aware of, unless you're called to be a firefighter or a police officer or EMS or other brave first responders, would run into a burning building. We all know that. There's not a person who can hear my voice that's outside the uniform of a firefighter that would run in to save lives. They were trapped, and another firefighter risked his life to save 3 colleagues. And that's why we're here thanking the department and the rank and file for what they do each and every day. And the leadership has a morale at an all-time high. We have more work to do. They need additional resources. We need additional equipment, and we are addressing that on a daily basis.
I'm gonna put, even though the mayor's standing here, and give some credit. You all have stood here in the previous administration for 8 years, watched 600 plus firefighters leave this department because of the morale, because of the leadership that we had previously. But because of Mayor Whitmire, his leadership, and Chief Munoz, and the contract that we were able to secure, we were able to put language in there that sent the message to everybody that had left HFD that it's time to come back, and they did. This is a first time ever program that has never happened in the history of the Houston Fire Department, and it is because of what Mayor Whitmire and Chief Munoz have done and what we were able to put in the contract to not only save taxpayers money, but to get firefighters back on the line. And if we hadn't have had the firefighter that came back under the Rehire program, I don't know what would have happened this morning. But I thank God every day that we have him and that he was the one that opened the door and got our guys out. That's why we say seconds matter in this business. It's not politics. It's not a joke. We've got 3 burn firefighters up there with their families who have a long road to recovery. And we know that Houstonians support us. And it is the men and women that go out there every day is why we stand here in support of them, and they know that they have an administration that is doing everything possible to support them. So that credit goes to Mayor Whitmire, and that goes to Chief Munoz, thinking outside the box, saving not only taxpayers' money, but bringing back qualified firefighters and paramedics to man these trucks, because this is a dangerous, dangerous job. And it takes somebody with a servant's heart to come in and to do the job that we do every day. So thank you again, Mayor Whitmire. But his mere presence here today shows the support for Houston firefighters. And that's something that the men and women have not seen in leadership in decades. And so that means everything to the families, and it means everything to us and the rank and file. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, ¿nos daría algunas declaraciones en español, por favor, acerca de lo que pasó y el estado actual?
Sí, a las 5:28 de la mañana el departamento de bomberos recibió una llamada en un apartamento en fuego. Entonces, cuando llegaron el equipo, hicieron entrada al apartamento. En ese tiempo se entramparon y tenemos 3 bomberos heridos, ahorita con quemadas en sus manos y sus piernas. Pero gracias a Dios que están alertos, no hay peligro de perder la vida, pero están quemados y va a ser mucho trabajo para ellos, pero gracias a Dios que todo salió bien. Nada más. Gracias, thank you.
Thank you.